The Lakehouse sat on 3 acres with 200 feet of private waterfront. My sister Vanessa had been posting photos from the dock all summer, telling everyone about our family property. She'd hosted engagement parties there, let her friends use it for weekends, treated it like a shared vacation home. I'd bought it 6 years ago for $420,000. Saved for the down payment, qualified for the mortgage alone, paid every bill and property tax. My name was the only one on the deed. But Vanessa told a different story. Mom and Dad helped with the down payment, she'd say. They hadn't. It's technically family property. It wasn't. We all have equal rights to it. We didn't. For 6 years I paid $2,850 monthly. For 6 years I covered the $8,400 annual property tax. For 6 years I handled maintenance, repairs, winterization insurance. Vanessa contributed exactly $0 and treated it like her personal resort. Every time I mentioned boundaries she'd say, "Stop being selfish. Family shares." Every time I suggested she pay something, anything, I shouldn't have to pay to use family property. Every time I tried to explain ownership, "You're acting like you're better than us." So I stopped explaining. I paid. I maintained. I documented everything. Then 3 months ago Vanessa called. I found buyers for the Lakehouse. $650,000. We're splitting it 3 ways, you, me and Jason. That's $216,666 each. You should be thanking me. I sat very still. You found buyers for my house? Our house. Don't start this again. The Hendersons are perfect. Cash buyers, no inspection contingency, quick close. I already accepted their offer. You accepted an offer on property you don't own? God, you're exhausting. I'm calling Jason. She hung up. I didn't call her back. I didn't yell. I didn't explain property law. I called my real estate attorney Rebecca Chin and said, "Document everything." Vanessa scheduled the closing for August 15th at Premier Title Company. She sent me an email with the details. Closing at 2 p.m. Bring your ID. We'll each get our checks. Finally getting what we deserve. What we deserve. The phrase sat in my chest like a stone. I'd spent 6 years feeling guilty. Guilty for owning something nice. Guilty for setting boundaries. Guilty for asking family to respect basic property rights. The guilt was a constant hum, background noise I'd learned to ignore while writing mortgage checks and scheduling septic service. There's a concept in psychology called learned helplessness. When you're punished for asserting yourself repeatedly, you eventually stop asserting yourself at all. You become compliant. You become quiet. You become the person who pays $2,850 monthly while being told you're selfish for not sharing enough. But there's another concept, strategic patience. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is nothing. Let the system work. Let authority figures discover truth through documentation. Let consequences arrive through official channels rather than family arguments. I showed up to closing at 1:55 p.m. with my attorney and a folder. The conference room at Premier Title smelled like coffee and leather. Large windows overlooked downtown. Vanessa sat at the table with our brother Jason, their real estate agent Amanda, and the buyers, a couple in their 50s holding hands nervously. Vanessa's smile was triumphant. Finally. Let's get our money. Jason nodded. Been waiting for this. I sat down quietly. Rebecca sat beside me, placing the folder on the table without opening it. The title examiner, David Park, was a thin man in his 60s with silver hair and reading glasses. He had a stack of documents in front of him and the expression of someone who'd done this 10,000 times. "Let's begin," he said. "I have the purchase agreement for 847 Lakeshore Drive. Sale price $650,000 cash transaction. Before we proceed, I need to verify ownership and chain of title." Vanessa waved her hand. "It's family property. We all inherited it when Dad died." David looked up. "Your father passed?" 3 years ago, Jason said. "I'm sorry for your loss." David made a note. "And the property was part of his estate?" "Obviously," Vanessa said. David nodded slowly. "I'll need the probate documents. Death certificate, will, estate settlement, transfer of title from the estate to the current owners." Vanessa looked at Jason. Jason looked at Vanessa. David continued, "I pulled the current deed from county records. The property is listed under a single owner. Rebecca Chen's client. He nodded toward me. Purchased August 2018 for $420,000. No other names on the title. No transfer on death designation. No joint tenancy. The room temperature dropped. That's not right, Vanessa said. Her voice had an edge now. Check again. David removed his glasses. I've checked 3 times. The deed is clear. Single owner. No encumbrances. Your client, he nodded at Amanda, claimed to represent all 3 siblings as co-owners. Amanda's face was very pale. That's what I was told. I have emails. Vanessa said they'd all inherited the property equally. David turned to Vanessa. Did you inherit this property? It's family property, Vanessa said, but the confidence was cracking. That's not a legal designation. Did your fathers will leave you this specific property? Silence. Did you ever pay toward the mortgage, property taxes, or maintenance on this property? I shouldn't have to pay for family property, Vanessa said. Rebecca opened the folder. My client has documentation. 6 years of mortgage payments. 6 years of property tax receipts. 6 years of insurance, utilities, maintenance, repairs. All paid solely by her. Total investment, $267,400. She slid a spreadsheet across the table. David examined it. The buyer's husband spoke quietly. Did we just offer $650,000 on a house that's not for sale? His wife was reading the spreadsheet. She doesn't own it at all? David addressed Vanessa directly. Did you sign a listing agreement with Amanda claiming to be the property owner or co-owner? I'm a co-owner, Vanessa said, but her voice shook. Show me documentation. It's family. That's not documentation. That's a statement. Do you have a deed with your name on it? Vanessa looked at Jason. Jason looked at his phone. Amanda stood up. I need to make a call. Rebecca spoke calmly. Before you do, you should know that signing a listing agreement under false pretenses, accepting earnest money, and proceeding toward closing on property you don't own constitutes real estate fraud in this state. My client is considering whether to pursue criminal charges or civil remedies. Amanda went very pale. I was told they said they all inherited. What you were told doesn't change what you did. You took a listing without verifying ownership. You accepted an offer on behalf of someone with no legal authority. You collected earnest money under fraudulent pretenses. The buyer stood. We're leaving. Our attorney will be in contact about the earnest money. We paid $25,000, his wife said, her voice tight. They left. The door clicked shut with finality. David removed his glasses again. This closing cannot proceed. The title is unmarketable due to fraud in the listing agreement. Amanda, your broker will need to address this. Vanessa and Jason, you may want to consult with an attorney. Jason spoke for the first time in 10 minutes. Wait, we're not getting anything? I spoke quietly. You're getting exactly what you paid for. Nothing. Vanessa's face was red. You set us up. You planned this. I showed up to the closing you scheduled for property I own. You planned this. You found buyers. You signed documents. You collected earnest money. I just brought proof. We're family. Family doesn't commit fraud. Family doesn't forge ownership rights. Family doesn't spend 6 years treating me like I'm selfish for asking you to respect basic property law. Rebecca stood. We're done here. David, please document everything for our records. Amanda, my client expects the listing agreement terminated immediately and a written apology within 48 hours. Vanessa and Jason, do not contact my client directly. All communication goes through me. We left. In the parking lot, Rebecca said, that was textbook fraud. You could pursue criminal charges. I'm thinking about it. The buyers might sue them for fraud and emotional distress. Amanda's broker will likely discipline her. The earnest money is going to be a disaster. I sat in my car for a long time after Rebecca left. 6 years of mortgage payments. 6 years of being called selfish. 6 years of family shares, while I paid every bill alone. And the entire time, Vanessa was preparing to sell property she never owned, never maintained, never contributed to in any meaningful way. The ghost ledger wasn't financial. It was emotional. Every time I paid $2,850. Cost equals being told I'm not generous enough. Every time I paid property taxes. Cost equals being accused of hoarding family assets. Every time I handled repairs. Cost equals watching Vanessa host parties like she owned the place. Every holiday with my family. Cost equals biting my tongue about boundaries. The revenge wasn't rage. It was patience sharpened into strategy. Let them commit fraud. Let them sign documents. Let them believe their own lies long enough for authority figures to discover the truth through the very systems designed to prevent exactly this kind of deception. 3 weeks later I received updates. The buyers sued Vanessa, Jason, and Amanda for fraud, seeking $25,000 in earnest money plus damages. Amanda's broker suspended her license pending investigation. Vanessa and Jason hired an attorney who told them they had no defense and should settle immediately. They offered me the Lakehouse if I'd drop any potential criminal charges. I declined. The Lakehouse was already mine. Their settlement with the buyers cost them $45,000 plus legal fees. My parents called asking me to be reasonable. I sent them the deed, the mortgage statements, and the property tax receipts. They stopped calling. Last week I spent Labor Day weekend at the Lakehouse. Alone. No family photos on the dock. No engagement parties. No one treating my property like a shared resort. Just me, the water, and 200 feet of private waterfront that I earned, paid for, and protected. Vanessa wanted $216,666 for property she never owned. Instead she lost $45,000, her sister, and her fantasy about what family means. I lost nothing. Because you can't lose what you never had, and I never had a sister who respected me. I had a sister who saw assets where I saw boundaries. The difference, it turns out, matters in court.